of networking, I want you to know that your next client can be. You don't know who your next biggest, network will be. So I'm going to invite, a couple or more of our attendees to introduce themselves. One thing I've observed about Zoom participants is that they never take initiative to do anything unless they're called upon. So I'm going to call upon us randomly to just introduce yourself, something about you, what you do, and what your expectations are for today's event. Need I mention that tonight or today is the final session for the 3-part weekly empowerment women's entrepreneurship series organized by AFA-Africa in collaboration with Ghana Startup Network. So yes, today is the final. We've had a couple of sessions in the past weeks. We have dealt with leadership. We have dealt with capital funding and whatnot. So basically, I'll have Emmanuel. I have a gentleman in the midst of a lot of women introduce himself. Emmanuel, can you do us the honors, please? Hello, Emmanuel.
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, so I'm joining in from Kumasi.
Amazing.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to participate in the other parts, so this will be, I think, yes, my time.
Hopefully this makes up for the time that you have missed. Hopefully it does, because we have powerhouses speaking to us today and tonight. For those of us from East Africa, it's already 6 p.m. there. So pardon me, I'm going to be using today and tonight interchangeably just to, yes, cater for those from the other part of Africa. Great, great, great.
And the topic is also something I'm very interested in. So yes, let's go.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you for your input. Right, right. We have Anthony. Anthony, are you here?
Hello.
I'm just really interested. Oh, this is a lady. Oh, wow, nice.
I'm sure you're surprised to hear a lady's voice. Sorry.
Yes, I am. Yeah? I was expecting to hear that of a gentleman. A brief introduction, please, and we zoom straight to business.
Yeah, well, I'm Lydia. I'm joining from Nairobi. It's actually my first session to join, so I've missed the last two. I don't know if they are recorded, and if they are recorded, we'll be very glad to watch the recordings. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this session. Thank you for having me.
Great. You're most welcome. Amazing, amazing. Right, so again, welcome to all of our participants. I think now we have a quorum to proceed. We have about 24 participants already. And yes, we can proceed. We can proceed. Right, right. So I'm going to talk briefly about the organizers of this event. You have the privilege of joining us because of the effort of AFA-Africa Limited. It's a firm in Nairobi. It's a leading social enterprise in Nairobi, Kenya, that is driven by an insatiable zeal in a quest to provide business skills, funding, and business networks to budding entrepreneurs in Africa. So AFA-Africa, in collaboration with Ghana Startup Network, which is Ghana's fastest rising organization on a mission to build the leading national startup ecosystem that integrates startups and startup entrepreneurs for business support, acceleration, and opportunities. So briefly, this is just, an overview or a background of the organizers of this event. We have done massively well. I want to commend the organizing bodies. I think we have Alice and Co here. A big shout out to all of you. Thank you so much. Right, so tonight or today, like I said, I was going to be using interchangeably, we are looking at building a disruptive business model, and I'm sure a lot of you have so many questions on your mind. You may have chanced upon or come by, business models across your business planning and whatnot. But today we are going to take a deep dive into the nitty-gritties of building a disruptive business model. Now, I'll just go straight to introduce our speakers. They have been here for a while now. I think about time we introduce them. We have first Edith Nwange. I hope I got the name right. Nwange, actually, yes. Edith is the chief, the chief executive director and the co-founder of Arrow for Africa Limited. You know, Arrow for Africa, like I introduced, you know, it's a startup, or even more than a startup in Nairobi. They are into business support and whatnot. Now, their aim as a business is to produce or provide about 113,000 jobs in Africa. Now, that's such a huge and a commendable number, you know, through empowering, training, coaching, connecting, funding entrepreneurs, and so much more. She's also the co-founder of Creative Brain Academy and the director of Westlands Job Creation Limited. She holds an MBA or an MSc in finance from Howard International Business School, and so much more. I don't want to read everything. I'm sure she's going to give a few introductory remarks, and she will you know, mention some of the points she thinks is relevant and I may have left out. So I'll give room for her to do that. Now, to our next speaker, we have Just eBay, who is a lead consultant of the Just eBay company, a management consultant firm with key focus on sales, marketing, and business communication. She is a co-founder of Instripe Tech, a startup tech company revolutionizing content creation, distribution, and sales. She's also currently an MBA student of University of South Wales, United Kingdom, and she is Just eBay, popularly known as and referred to by thousands as the sales guru and the president of African startups. No, thank you so much. By a show of support, you can raise your hand if there's an option like that, you know, but welcome to Edith Nwange and Just eBay. We are so privileged to have you share your wealth of knowledge with us. Great, great, amazing. So I'm going to give our speakers the opportunity to just introduce themselves and maybe give any introductory remarks. And if I've not mentioned anything, you're free to do that. So Edith, we'll take you first.
Hi, Crystal. Thank you for moderating this and for having me on this. So my name is Edith Nwange, like you have been told, and I am CEO, co-founder at Ariel for Africa. What Ariel for Africa does is we essentially support entrepreneurs currently in Kenya, in Ghana, in Nigeria, in South Africa, and in Uganda. What we do is we essentially provide them with all the business skills, all the industry-specific curriculum, legal support, funding support, connecting them to networks, and all of this is in the hope that we create 113,000 jobs in the coming 10 years. How do we think this is possible? We believe that with each one entrepreneur that we support, we train, we connect, and we mentor for up to 5 years, that they go on and create up to 5 jobs minimum, each of them. And so essentially for us, that is who we are, that is what we do. Like Crystal, I think, also mentioned shortly, I am also co-founder of Creative Brain Academy. And we provide executive coaching for millennials. So everything that is normally given to the top tier in a lot of countries, we're able to provide that for up and coming young people all over developing countries. We have previously done this in 40 developed countries, so all over Europe and the US, but we're now doing the same for young people in developing countries specifically. We're also working on supporting not just employee path, but then entrepreneurial pathway, because coaching, right, and executive coaching is is something that a lot of us don't have access to. She also mentioned that I am director of Westlands Job Creation, and so far we've created tens of thousands of jobs in the African continent. She didn't mention that I am a Kenyan, so I'm born and bred in Kenya. I have 2 bachelor degrees in finance and in economics, and 2 master degrees in international business, disruptive innovation, and another one is an MSc in finance. So my background is very much in the business world, but I do have a heart for the young people, for entrepreneurs, and for employment in particular. I think just listening to all the 3 sets of webinars, right? And just being, I was an attendee, right? In the other, so I was on the other side for the other 2 webinars. And I would say that for me, it has really been an eye-opening experience just to hear from all the amazing women, all the different topics, right? From does leadership know gender, all the way to the funding discussion. And then now seeing how to not just have a business, right? But have a disruptive business, not one that's being disrupted by different crises and different economic situations, but one that is disrupting their industry. So I think just opening remarks, I know that women are underestimated. I know that women have issues when it comes to accessing funding, right, and financing. I know that women, you know, when you take up leadership roles, they call you bossy when you're authoritative. And I also know that women, especially in the continent of Africa, are not mentored enough. Right? They're not supported as much as they should be. And that's something that needs to change. We need to have a lot more successful women sending the elevator back down and supporting up and coming women. We need to have more conversations like these, right? So not just a one-hit wonder, but something that we keep on doing throughout the coming years, that we are supporting women and supporting them through what they do. Something that I think women should work towards is not just skills and talent, but adding grit, right? That's almost like the ferocious element. So if you look at even how lions act, right? I'll say lions because Ariel stands for lioness. Normally it's the lioness that's really ferocious, right? She defends her cubs. And I think that's what women need to have in entrepreneurship. We need women with grit, with ferocity, with strength, you know, with zeal, with, you know, not just sitting down, you know, and being quiet how we're told to be. I think what we need to do is hit reset on what we've been told being feminine is. So yeah, I'm excited for this. Thank you for having me, GSN and Ariel for Africa as one of your speakers. And I'm excited to hear from Just eBay as well. So happy to be here.
Thank you so much. Now, that was very refreshing for an introduction. Thank you, Edith. We'll go on to the major lady I respect so much. Just eBay, you're most welcome, Mom. You do have any introductory remarks for us as well?
Can I say I just want to say can we clap for Edith already? And I feel goose pimples just listening to her, honestly.
Thank you, Jess.
Crystal, honestly, you felt the other speaker may have disappointed, but this arrangement was divine. We were meant to meet. Edith and I were meant to connect. That's why I turned down other appointments because of this event. Okay. I said to Crystal, I had 2 appointments I had to move because of her. Clearly, I see why it was imperative I come here. Edith speaks the heart of the true African woman I have been looking for. She literally is speaking the heart of what is driving me every day for the past 6 months. You know, I live to see an Africa where entrepreneurs are going to arise from underneath and take over center stage. I live to see an Africa where the startups that are supposedly being relegated rise up and begin to teach those who are there how to build the African economy. And I'm seeing Edith saying all the different things she's saying. I'm like, this is doable. This is so doable. And, you know, Kristen, I just want to say a very huge thank you for bringing us here, GSN and Ariel for Africa. I am Just eBay, like they mentioned, and I recently founded the Association of African Startups. Our goal is to raise the next set of entrepreneurs that will rebuild the African continent in simple terms. We are going to provide them with tools, strategies, mentorships, coaching, just like Ariel is saying. And our mandate is to enter the 54 countries in Africa. We're not stopping. The 54 countries, because we believe that we live in an Africa where the leadership that we look up to have failed us to a very large extent. So we now live in an Africa where our problem is not the resources that we do not have, but our problem is in our people underutilized to take these resources and turn them into a weapon of massive economic turnover. And that's why we need to look beyond what is going on above us, leaders, all of those, and look down to what has been unharnessed, untapped. And that's why we're going down to the startups, the small businesses. We're pouring everything we have learned acquired experience, pouring it into them and just helping them really take Africa to where we didn't think we could take it to, and where all the other leaders who have looked up to couldn't take it to. And so, yes, thank you to everyone who is here today. I believe that you are in for such a ride, because I came with such a burning fire. Edith came with such a higher burning fire. So at the end of this session, our goal is to infuse that fire in you, that you go back to your home country and begin to say, I have been sleeping. I have just been coasting. It's time to step in and make my voice count. It's time to step in and begin to question what I'm not satisfied with. Because we live in an Africa where everybody seems to be saying, it's not working, I'm just going to look for how to take care of myself and my family. But unfortunately, if we keep doing that, we will wake up to an Africa one day that has been ceded to the Western world.
Yeah.
We'll wake up one day, and God forbid that it happens in our generation. So you see why all of us must have this radical shift. It's not just about myself and Edith and maybe people like Crystal and Ghana Network. All of us have to come together and say, I carry this fire, you carry this fire. Can we combine this fire and take over? And that's the essence of today's class. We are going to bring it down.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Christy. Let me let you take over.
Amazing. And I'm so fired up. This fire is super contagious, and I hope all of you on the attendee list catch it too, because you have to run with it. You have to run with it, right? So we just zoom straight into why we are here today. Like I mentioned, we are looking at building a disruptive model, and as women entrepreneurs, as women-led ventures. So we are just going to build ground up. I hope you can all hear me and you're all ready and set. Now, Edith, can you tell us, right? Because I mentioned you're going to build ground up, we want to understand really existentially what a disruptive model is all about. A disruptive business model is all about, and how it's different from a standard business model.
Okay, so the things about a disruptive business model that I'm going to point out is, number one, it is unique. Number two, it is scalable, right? So like Just is saying, right? She's saying they want to be in 54 African countries. Exactly. Scalable. It's easy to duplicate. It's easy to multiply. A disruptive business model is based on a need, not a want. So what am I saying here? I'll use the example of Netflix. You remember back in the day, we used to have the cassette tapes. We used to go, to the CD shop. You buy, you have to pay to get the CD. Your friends tell you which one they've watched. You might go, you might not find the same one, or you had a movie library. We had all these different ways of accessing entertainment. But what Netflix did was they provided a product that we didn't even know we needed. Google the same. Right? Generations before us, how would they do their research? How would they study? They'd have to go to a library. But Google provided something that we need, but we didn't know, right? Yeah. And the problem with a lot of businesses, and this is why you're struggling in COVID. Let me tell you why you're struggling in COVID. Customers want your product. They don't need it. And in the middle of a crisis, no one will pay for a want. We only pay for what we need. So you need to get your product, your service, your offering from something that people want to something that they need. Something unique and something that is easy to scale, something that's easy to duplicate. Airbnb, Uber, did we know that we needed them? No, but they provided a product, a service that I can't imagine going to see Just, for example, to visit her and not pulling out my phone to look for Uber. Because I might get there and everyone is talking languages that I don't understand, right? They might be over-quoting for me. Africans, they tell you what they want to tell you. So, but I think just the provision of services like this, Airbnb, I might not know where I'm living, right? I might not even know. Just might say, I don't have space for you, Edith. The family is with me. Where is Edith supposed to stay, right? So, this is what a disruptive business model is that separates it from an ordinary business model. Ordinary is copy and paste. Ordinary does not need you to think. Disruption needs you to crack your mind. That's all I'm going to say.
and that's all we want to hear. Great. Justy, I know you have a lot to say. Please go on with us.
How do you have a sister somewhere you didn't know? How?
We're family. Come.
This is so cool. Like, Christy Lee almost feels as if she has been in one of my classes where I talk about intrinsic desires. I've been talking about intrinsic. So as entrepreneurs, we have been used to selling bodily transformation as our products and services. Your customer is looking for mind, body, and soul transformation. In Africa, what we focus on is body. And what you don't understand is the customer's outer body is controlled by the inner mind and the soul. So if your product is catered to just what they feel exterior, it will be easy for them to push you aside and bring in somebody else. So intrinsic desire is you saying, what is the inner motive behind why my customer buys or will buy that product? Until you figure that out and begin to speak that language to them, you are just a not necessarily to have. You are just a nice to have, not a must have. So as entrepreneurs in a time like this, sit down and say, what drives my customer to buy? Say I sell cosmetics, lightning cosmetics, and you think what drives your customer is I just want to look yellow. Not necessarily. There are conversations going on inside that customer that makes them feel like what they need is a lightning beauty product. Case in point, self-esteem, confidence, those things that they will never say to you. So your customers' needs has gone beyond what you see. It's now the conversation that they may never be able to say to you, that you need to start speaking to get them to go inside their rooms and say, this lady is saying what's going on in my mind. And then inside, they become loyalists. They're following you back to back, but they may never speak. After a while, you will now become not just a product, but a movement. That's what disruption is. So startups, you need to move from being just a product to a movement. A movement is I connect with the heart, soul, my transformation of my customer, that they feel like they are connected to me, hip to hip. Any little disentanglement, they will break. That's what you must begin to project. How do you do that? Harvest their intrinsic desires. Speak about it. For some of you may be uncomfortable because you are not used to audaciously speak people's problems. You are used to just dangling products and services in their faces. But guess what? That's the reason why you weren't making money during COVID-19. Because the average woman had to do a scale of priority. She would say your cream is not necessary. But if you were dangling in front of her that her ability to be able to stay productive is related to how she feels inside out, your cream will become number one on the scale of preference. So disruption is communicate the inner desire of your customers as your unique selling point on a daily basis. Now, I get that some entrepreneurs will say, but how does that pay the bill? If you focus on paying the bill rather than long-term transformation and staying in the business, you will lose out. Because that's what is killing us in Africa. We live in an environment where people don't understand delayed gratification. I want to come in now and hit it. But you have forgotten that the customer you are trying to serve is not going to die tomorrow. Even if that one dies, it's going to produce other ones. So why are you not interested in building a lasting brand that is seated in the heart, soul, and mind of your customers that makes them feel like without this brand, I don't exist, literally. So that's step one. And for some of you, you're going to have to build it repeatedly, 6 months, 1 year. Stay there. When you stay there, you create a community of loyalists that by themselves, they'll begin to call others to come and follow you and buy from you. Not because you're doing any kind of medicine, but because you have understood this principle and you have stayed with it. The next thing to do as a disruptive model is you need to be audacious. Find what you believe in and carry it audaciously. Let me say that again. Edith mentioned something about a lioness when we started. Lionesses don't see, they are not nothing. If you are coming in the way of a lioness and her cub, she's going to tear you apart. So literally, you need to become a lion/lioness in the marketplace, especially when you believe in something. Now, when I say lion and lioness, it doesn't mean you should be violent at people, but you have to carry a certain level of confidence and bodily posture that defends what you believe in with facts, figures and statistics. Basically, your passion must be so contagious that your customers see your energy level and they're saying, this energy level cannot be because she just wants to collect this money from me. Do you see how this works? This energy level must be because she believes so extremely in the capacity of her product and service that she will go to any length to make you catch it. So as an entrepreneur, you must be invested in making your customers catch the transformation that your products carry. Like a lot of you are watching me right now, you're feeling fire. You know why? Because I am sold to what I believe in, and every time I speak, you catch the fire. That's what it is. You guys must become like that. We all have different methodologies of delivering it, but find what it is you burn for. Your business cannot be a commodity, guys. That's number 3. Stop commoditizing your products and services. A commodity can be copied by anybody, meaning I can enter into an open market and sell the exact variation of what you sell because it's a commodity. Anybody can go to China and copy a commodity. But when you become a visionary is interested in the customer and what the customer gets as a form of transformation. So move from that red ocean, so to speak, where everybody's competing. My own is $1, yours is $3. There's a price. Move away from that. Separate yourself. And I'm not teaching you what is not doable. I'm teaching you what I have mastered in my business. I have mastered how to leave the noise and say, I know that I'm here for business transformation for my clients, but I carry within me a tool that is not just about how much I want to collect, such that as a customer, if you are choosing to come to me, by the time you leave me, everything that is supposed to be plaguing you goes, aside from the money that you make. So I'm carrying to my customers, I have a full package. If you're looking for fast money, I'm not the person. But the other people in my industry will say, fast money, come to me. I'm not that person. I have honed that differentiation so much, and I have talked about it repeatedly. And what would happen is, because you have focused on what you believe in and you're seeing it every time, your name will precede you. Your brand will precede you. Your value will precede you. Meaning it will go right ahead of you and begin to make way for you in front, even where you haven't entered. Because you're holding on to something that the average red ocean people are not holding on to. So, dear entrepreneurs, the future of disruption is staying with these things that I've said to you. Don't be in a hurry to make money. Like I said, the money is not in the products. The money is not in the resources. The money you are looking for and you will ever get is in people. So master people, understand people, resolve people, transform people. Money will chase you for the rest of your life.
Amazing, amazing, ma. Amazing. This is panning out exactly how I imagine it, even beyond, right? Expectations are being overly met, and that's amazing. Now, I'm sure people are wondering, can a business model such as a disruptive business model apply to my sort of business or my kind of business or the kind of service I provide? So I want us to, generally share, if you can step in on this, what kind of businesses, right? Yes, if indeed that assertion, if that, perception that disruptive business models are not applicable to every sort of business is indeed true, can you teach us what kind of businesses can adopt or apply the principles of a disruptive business model?
So now, this is what I'm going to say. I think it is a misconception that disruption is for certain industries or for certain businesses. You have gone wrong. You have gone wrong. The second you think that only certain games, right, can have disruption elements in them, you have gone wrong. And just has said, it is very simple. Disruption is not sitting through many classes. It is a mindset. Right? And a lot of us, how do we start businesses? You see someone doing something, they have a shop, then you see, okay, they're making money. Let me set up a shop right near them. Mistake. Don't do that. That's the first way to not be disruptive. How to actually have a disruptive business model is simple. Start with a problem. A lot of us have products, services, things that we're doing, and they are not based on a problem in the society. So if you're not solving a problem, you're not in business. right? If you're not solving a problem, you're not an entrepreneur. Let me tell you what you are. You are a sole proprietor, or you are a partnership, or you are a limited company. You're not an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs solve problems. Entrepreneurs are solution makers. So how to be disruptive is start with a problem. Is it water? Is it electricity? Is it people are walking to certain places? What is the problem where you are? Start with that, right? And the good thing about Africa is that a lot of the problems are the same. So if you start in Ghana, if you start in Kenya, if you start in Nigeria, it's the same. It will apply throughout the continent. You can expand to anywhere, but you must start with a need that people have. And I'll use an example. There's a company called Chotuku, right? They're based in India. And how they started providing, you see nowadays we have this thing, it's called a cooler that we take for picnics, right? So the coolers that we carry around, we use for picnics. Sometimes you'll see people on the side of the road, they sell you water from a cooler, right? Have we ever thought what they were using to keep that water cold before the cooler came? So Chotukul started in India, and what they did the first time is what a lot of us Africans do. They wanted to sell refrigeration services to small people in the economy. What did they do? They just reduced the size of a normal fridge, and they tried to sell that. But then they realized the women don't have electricity in their houses. So how are we selling them a small fridge? That's what you're doing, Africans. You're selling a small fridge to a person who doesn't have electricity. That's how a lot of our businesses run. Just think about it. So what they did, they went and they asked the women, what do you want? How much space do you want? How much money are you willing to spend on electricity? If not, do you want to be able to carry this thing to see your friend? Do you want to be able to carry it to go to the market? And then they developed the small cooler. Guys, you must start with a need. You must start with your customer. You do not matter. Let me tell you, your customer matters. Like Just has said, your customer's mind, your customer's body, your customer's soul. If you're thinking about the money, you're doing it wrong. Like Just has said, any money can come from anywhere. We can go and be corrupt and take money. All of us, let's go. Let's all go get money from the government. We know they have it. We just be corrupt. That's how you get money. You can get money like this, but you cannot get purpose like this. And a lot of us are running businesses, but we are not running on purpose. So you will get tired. Let me tell you, entrepreneur, you will run out of energy. You will feel drained. You will get burnout. That word, burnout, because you're not running on purpose. So if you do not find a problem, feel the purpose, the need to solve it, then you're not doing business, you're not an entrepreneur, and you're not disruptive. Being disruptive is starting with the customer, solving the problem in a unique way, and then finding a way to help other customers. That's it. That's it. It's not tech. It's not AI. It's not IoT. It's not coding. It's none of those things. All of that is fluff. The real thing is businesses running on purpose. That's it.
That's it. That's it. This is so amazing, right? And I'm learning so much inside. I'm sure that from today forward, my life will not be the same, neither will my business be the same. And I hope that for all of the attendees on here right now. So now we want to understand, right? How do women calibrate or recalibrate their skill set and think in multi-dimensional ways to embrace the changes, right? In the market, tech, general business environment. How do we recalibrate our skill set? Just, can you go first for us, please?
So the first thing I must note in the times where we're in is you first need to understand what's going on. If you don't understand what's going on, you'll be pushed in different directions. So if you're here and you're wondering what's happening in the world, you should take time off, clear your head, and try to understand. Until you understand, you don't find a way to place yourself in it. What is going on right now is there's a reshuffling, meaning that our old way of doing things is about to be phased away completely. A new world era is being forced upon us, whether we like it or not. And we're at the beginning stage. So for those of you who are thinking there's a shaking, get ready, it's going to get tougher. It's going to get heavier because we're at the beginning phase of the shaking. And so what that is doing for you and me is giving us opportunity to study and calibrate and reposition. So if you are here today and you are still wondering, what should I do? Take time off social media. Please, it's an advice. Take time off, 3 days, 4 days, 1 week, and just stay and try to understand. If you're a Christian, go and commune with God. Whatever you believe in, take time off and go and find out what should you be doing for the now, guys. Because if you're in this time and you're running the race of the environment that you find yourself in, or running the race of your competitor, or running the race of the shiny object syndrome you are seeing on social media, you are going to fall off the way. When an era where unique voices are to be birthed for unique problems, waiting for unique solutions in Africa. Let me take that again. When an era where unique voices should be birthed for unique problems, waiting for unique solutions in Africa. So if you are listening to me and So if you're listening to me and you haven't found what your unique voice is to the unique problem with the unique solution for the African continent, sister, brother, take time off. Because what would happen is in the next 3 to 6 months, you will find that people around you will just be springing up like shoots, they'll be springing out like wildfire. And you feel left behind. You will feel segregated. You will feel thrown out because your unique voice is what makes a difference now. So how do you adapt? The only way you adapt is go and find your unique voice. You can call it a unique cause that you're born for. You can call it a unique passion. You can call it a purpose. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but that thing that wakes you up every night. And I will share from my personal experience. Before now, I have been a business consultant and sales coach. I coach small business owners in the last 1 year/2 years. I've helped about 5,000 entrepreneurs across the world, grow their businesses. But it got to a time where it now became, it's no longer about you. I'm a Christian. I'm a devout Christian. And God started to say to me, it's no longer about building your empire. It's now, I put something inside of you that African startups across Africa needs to hear. If not, Africa will not grow. So he said to me, leave your selfish interest, abandon it, and come. Let me use you for the transformation I have in mind for Africa. Now, I am one person in the several billions of people on the African continent. But there are so many of you here who are listening to me that have several things, like myself and Edith and Crystal, and you are sitting on it because you think, I just want to make money. Wake up! Wake up! If all you hear today is my voice shouting, wake up, because I need you. You need me. Your voices is what's going to trump the slavery Africa is in. Your voice. I sat down, I did a comprehensive study of Joseph in the scriptures, how Joseph took Egypt and made Egypt the economic world power. Inside that study is a strategy that the Western world is using to make Africa slaves. Inside that strategy. And I started to see inside the blueprint that we can use to still take over. Now, it's so large that in my own individual capacity, I can't do it. And I believe that that's the reason why Edith and I have connected today, why Christian and I have connected today, because together we will pull a hurricane and pull down whatever is holding the African continent. Listen, guys, if you think that the times we're in, it's about my stomach, my belly, my bank account, you're joking. You know why? Because when you finish getting your belly, your bank account, another pandemic will come, and then that money that you have saved, you spend it.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'm sure my audience are really asking so many questions in their minds. Now it's about time we ask them directly. If you have any questions on your mind, please put them in the question section. I have a question here now. It says that, so I want to ask if you have a solution to a problem, but you don't have capital to start, how do you go about it? Because according to the president in her country, the government isn't too supportive of small businesses. So how does a person go about capital funding? This is something we treated last week though, but if you have any comments, please, can you touch a bit on that, Edith?
So now, on this one, you know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of people using money as an excuse to not do things.
Edith, why are you my sister? Gosh, this girl.
I am tired. Do not tell me money is what is keeping you from money, because that's basically what you're saying. Money is keeping you from starting your business. If you do not start your business, you're not going to get money. I am tired. Africans, I am tired. Let me tell you what the reality is, okay? As a Black person, you will only get 2% of the VC funding globally. As a Black woman, you will only get 0.0006% of that funding. So what am I saying? You're not going to get money. That's what I'm telling you. Let me be the person to tell you, you are not going to get money. But, right, you don't need money. You do not need money to make money. Us as Ariel for Africa, let me tell you, we have not sold any equity. So how are we here today? We have not gone to a bank for a loan. How are we here today? How are we in all of these African countries? How? Guys, all you need is yourself. You just need to wake up and go and do it. That's it. You just need to do it. You do not need anyone to give you money, because the truth is you probably need to wait for people like Just and myself to go and start the funds so that we can find a way to support you. Until then, right? Can you work on your idea? Can you work on yourself? Can you find support? Can you build a network? You know, entrepreneurs in Africa, we don't help each other. You know how to sit with yourself, with your idea. We're not working together. It's every man for himself. And that's how we fail. Because white people, they know how to support each other. But us, everyone is segregated. If it's not on the basis of country, it's on the basis of tribe. If it's not on the basis of tribe, it's on the basis of gender. Why can we not come together? Because the truth is, all you need to get going is an idea, number one. Number two, Just has said, she talked about Jacob. Your father owns 1,000 cattle on a hill. God has always provided for Ariel, for Africa. We have never lacked. No day have we lacked at all. So guys, go into the market, start doing it. If you need help, look for Just, look for me. We'll find a way to support you. But you don't need money, because the truth is you're not going to get support from the banks until you get to a certain stage. You're not going to get support from the government. God knows they're all asleep. You're not going to, you need to be looking up, right? And you need to be looking at yourself. And
I just love this girl.
That's the truth. There's no money, guys.
I love this girl.
Amazing. And
can I quickly chip in something there?
Go on, Just.
She has spoken my heart in such a fantastic way. I want to add this, guys. Every time God wants to bless you, he gives you an idea.
That's it.
Do you think he doesn't know you need money to execute that idea?
That's it.
Why does he give you the idea and you think you are looking for money? It's because you have put the hope in the idea, not in the running with the idea. Please take this. My scripture says, anyone who is willing and obedient will eat the fruit of the land. Whenever you receive an idea and you hold it, that's willingness. There's a second caveat, obedience. Without that second caveat, the money, which is the fruit, will not come. So your idea is not enough to generate you money until you begin. When you begin and you are supernaturally led, he will begin to plant you in circles and networks of people that will bring that money, or will show you pitching competitions, funding this that you need. For some of you who think that money is what is holding that idea, let me tell you what will happen to you. That idea you are sitting on, somebody, God will give it to another person, the person will run.
Yeah, that is true.
And you wake up 2 years later and say, is this not the same idea I have? What happened? So listen, the person who's asking that question, God never gives you an idea that he hasn't given you the resources to start. It's a lie. Except it's building a power plant. And if he's building a power plant, he will not give it to you who is incapacitated and say immediately, just go and build a power plant, when he knows he has not given you the money. It will start with small something. Go and start repairing fossil fuel in XYZ place. Go and start doing this in this. He will break it down in bite size. When God said to me, go and take Africa, the Association of African Startups, when he said that, I had no clue how I was going to penetrate the 54 countries in Africa. This is somebody who all I've ever done is Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, and maybe some South Africa and some Rwanda in my initial capacity. And when he said, go and take the 54 countries, I said, yo, God, how are we going to do this? But I know that the beauty is in execution. The minute you begin to execute, people of like mind will begin to gravitate. Case in point, I am here on this webinar and my spirit is screaming, you came here because you came to meet Edith.
That's it.
Do you see how this works? So that idea you are holding, I know you need money, but guess what? Start. Divide the smallest bit of that idea, break it down. If you are struggling with that, go and sit with a business consultant. And there's no how you don't even have a source of income. That you are on this webinar shows that you have a source of income. You have a source of income. Sometimes you are going to use your personal income to drive that business. When it gets to a level where you need to scale, I can guarantee you that if your heart is right, the money will come.
It will come.
Please, this is I'm taking. Take it exactly as it is, because I have run several businesses. I'm not saying this from theory. I have run several businesses. I in partnership with my husband, run a renewable company. That's a story for another day. When it's time, when you have gotten to that stage, because some of you, the reason why you're struggling with money is because God knows if he gives you that money, you will misbehave. If he gives you that money, that business will die.
Yeah.
So he wants to see you, the grit you bring to the table to push until you get there. Don't think funding is holding you down. Push it. And when it's time for funding, the funding will come. Have that at the back of your mind, that funding will come. The government was not created because of you. Yes, they have their roles. So if you are sitting down waiting, oh, my government is supposed to do this, they are not supportive. Hello, take that off your mind. Please take it off completely. Because they are not entitled to giving you money. They are entitled to govern the state of affairs of your country, of your community. And they are failing woefully at that. So they are failing at their primary assignment. You think your own weight was on their mind? Absolutely not. So I just needed to bring that so that you take that off your mind. Once you take that off your mind, that there are limitations. Because once you create limitations, you don't see the opportunities. So take the limitations off. Take the coverings off. And you begin to see gradually how every tiny thing is an opportunity. I don't know how Edith is going to help with the Association of African Startups, but I can see light. I can see light. From one connection to another connection to another connection, you get to the body of knowledge, information, funding that you need for where you are going. Listen, the money you are looking for is in the hands of someone or people. You don't get it by not moving. You get it by moving, mingling, joining associations, all kinds of things. And I know that in our individual association, we offer all kinds of funding opportunities, but that shouldn't be the primary. Because Africans will have a way of collecting money and running away. We have a way of collecting money and go and buying a new car, renting a new house, marrying a new wife, all kinds of funny things. You know, that's not to say that's the case of the person who asked this question, but take that limitation off and begin to take everything as an opportunity to move from stage 1 to stage 2. As you begin to connect the dots, you'll find that gradually you'll be led into where the money is, if truly money is your need. Because I know if I sit with you today, I will tell you categorically, money is not your need.
Amazing.
It is.
Amazing. We could
I just love that.
Dissecting this issue to bit. Amazing. I don't know if I should say it's fortunate or rather unfortunate that we don't have any questions. I want to assume that our speakers have been thorough enough and have answered all of our questions. But surprisingly, we just had this one question and that has been it. But great. I personally want to ask for someone who has, been reoriented, has been transformed, has been totally, disoriented mentally, his or her stereotypes have been shaken to the core. How can such a person introduce this disruptive business model he or she will practice to his or her customer or target audience? How is that possible? How do we, zoom into introducing this new step to our audience?
I think before we even get there, because this is for women, right? So women, we have a problem when it comes to applying the disruption element. Let me tell you what our problem is. We don't like risk, right? We don't like not knowing. And like Just has said, right? When God calls something out of you, it is because it exists. So when you are called to do something, right, and you feel that you're not ready to do it, but what if I fail? There's a fear of failure that is very heavy, especially amongst African women. We are afraid to go wrong. We are afraid to fail. There's also the part where we are afraid, right, to take charge. We're afraid to be the people at the front, to stand up and be the person facing the fear, the risk, the not knowing directly. And what we need is that lioness heart, that lioness spirit that forces us to face fear in the face, to face possibility of failure. Because let me tell you guys, there's nothing as amazing as falling down and getting back up. It gives you strength, right? It reorients you. Do it. If now you've had of all of this, you've gotten pumped up, guys, my thing is just go and do it. Whether you're afraid of fear or failure or whatever, just do it. Do it afraid. Don't wait for the fear to go. Just do it afraid. Number 2, I'm a Kenyan, so I love Eliud Kipchoge. He's the fastest runner, I think, in the world, right? Best marathoner. Did the sub 2-hour marathon run. Amazing guy, amazing guy. In his marathon runs, there's something that Kipchoge does that I respect. When it gets hard, when he is struggling through the run, you know, in those last 10 kilometers after you've done 32, you know, you're close to the breakthrough and you're struggling, you know, your body is breaking down, you're feeling the effects of how far you've come, you're struggling, you know, the legs are not feeling like they were in the beginning, the excitement is not there, the business is getting hard, you know, the revenues are not the same, there's more demand, your employees are disturbing you. Kipchoge smiles. He smiles when he is hurting. He smiles when he is in pain. He smiles when he is struggling. Guys, you need to learn how to smile as an entrepreneur. When everything looks like it has gone wrong, right, as you go, when everything looks like it's not making sense, smile, right? Because that, number 1, is faith, but number 2, it sends a message to your body, to your soul, to your mind, to your spirit, the simple act of smiling. Right? Smile at fear, smile at failure, smile at not knowing, smile at confusion, smile at no money, smile at employees that are disturbing you. Just smile, guys. You will
just smile. Unfortunately, we have barely 5 minutes more to end our session, and it's so unfortunate. I wish this could have run for an entire day and we still not be filled to the brim. Right, so just one very quick question and one very quick response before we finally bring this one in. Someone is asking if it's good to take someone else's business model and better it.
Oh God, that's a smart ass question. Can I take somebody else's business model and better it? So I'm going to answer this from an angle that you may not be comfortable with, but if you take it, you'll be blessed for it. Why in the first place are you interested in picking somebody else's business model? Why? So let me explain this, and we have just 3 minutes. Every time you want to do something, there is a touch/methodology that you have. Anytime you try to move somebody's own, you invalidate your own. And who knows, your own may be 100 times better than what the other person will do. However, in the world of business, people have mastered the act of watching one business start and look at the flaw of that business and go and improve on it to make it better. People have mastered it. In fact, multinationals, they all do it. But what you will notice is even in trying to copy Coca-Cola, you will always be a second best. It's true. All the different companies that have spring up to try and do what Coca-Cola has been doing, I think 2 years ago, Coca-Cola brought out their recipe and shared it with the world. Because they're like, you know what, different people have been trying to copy us. Look at the recipe, go and copy. But every time they try to improve on those recipes, they end up getting tastes that are not, there is never as good as Coca-Cola. So whenever you want to start a business model, as much as you can. I mean, start a business as much as you can. Bring your own unique style and method to the table. Carry your own unique style, sit with a consultant, let them flesh out your own before you think of improving on somebody else's own. Please, I'm sure that's clear. Take your own. Go and sit with a consultant with your own and say, this is mine. Teach me how to make this one work. Because you're moving somebody's own and developing it is invalidating what you carry. Because that person's business model, you were not there when they were developing it. When there's a breakdown in the future, you may not know where to fall back on because you didn't develop it anyway. So carry your own, sit with a consultant, flesh it out, and work with your own. I believe that most likely will not fail. Let me stop there so that we can round up.
Amazing, amazing. Unfortunately, we have to wrap up. We can't take any more of your questions. People are asking about crowdfunding and what have you, but we did have a capital and funding session last week. You should have joined. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to answer to this. But basically, please follow us on all social media platforms. We are on Instagram as Ariel for Africa, and we are GSN on also all social media platforms, on LinkedIn as well. We want to take final remarks from our speakers, and speakers, you're free to leave your contact details, however you want our audience to reach out to you, because some people are obviously fired up and they want to continue the fire from here by connecting us. Please feel free and please give us a very brief closing remark, after which Just Ibe will also go.
Fantastic. Okay, Edith. Okay, Edith should go first.
I think
right?
Edith is not.
Okay. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for coming today. I'm just going to drop the Association of African Startups handle. Please follow at TAS Africa. I have dropped it there. That's the Association of African Startups. From there, you see my personal handle. We're even going live tonight talking about the state of Africa, right? So follow TAS Africa, is there in the comments. Christian, I want to say a very huge thank you to you and to Ariel for Africa. Please, Christian, at the end of this class, share with me Edith's contact, her phone number. We need to connect. Yes, right? And in closing, I just want to encourage every one of us that you are not another statistics on the face of the earth. God did not make a mistake putting you in the country where he puts you, through the family where you came out from. And every time there's an alignment between who you are today and who you are meant to be according to how you were created, something happens. So your greatest desire when you leave this class is to go and find the alignment between who you are now and who you were created to be. That should be your greatest desire. Once you find that alignment, you begin to fly at a level that nothing can stand in your way.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to thank you so much. Edith is here. Edith, can you close us very shortly?
Okay, perfect. I think I'm going to close by saying thank you so much, Crystal, for this session. Thank you so much, Just, my sister. I feel like a bond has been created, when someone was missing and they were supposed to be in your life. I think
Crystal is going to give me your number after this class. I'm going to call you. Perfect. We're going to talk.
Perfect. Yes, that's what we need to do. We need to be changing Africa together. We need to have more young people, more women, more Africans taking your place. Take your place, young people. Take your place, Africans. Take it with pride. Do not back down for nobody. Do not sit down for nobody. Do not be silent for anybody. Take your place. Take it with pride. Take it with strength. Stand where you're supposed to stand and stand there with honor. And if you need any sort of support, me, Just, Crystal, everyone is on LinkedIn. Reach out to us, guys, okay? We will respond when we can, and we're here for you. We're here for you, guys. But just take your place, right? Any question that we didn't answer, because I saw a lot of questions flying in, we will respond to over email. Crystal will organize that, guys, and we'll respond to all of your questions. But thank you for coming. Just thank you for being my sister. I'm sending you love and blessings, and thank you so much for doing this, guys. I appreciate this.
Thank you so much, Edith. I think our audience will appreciate it if they got your email in the chat box if you could do that for us. But thank you all of us who have joined. I'm sure you have been inspired, you have been ultimately empowered, which is why we take the pain to organize this 3-part weekly empowerment session or Empower Hair session for women. But fortunately for us, we have a lot of men joining us, so we have gone beyond our expectation. Amazing. Thank you so much to Just and Edith. Finally, we're going to end the session in about a minute or two. Please reach out to us on all social media platforms and also on LinkedIn. We are Ghana Startup Network, and we are also Arel for Africa. Thank you and have a good evening. Bye-bye to all of you.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.